Welcome back to Motorsport Manager. Time for Black Sea, second race of the 2023 season, and our second in the top flight of the Endurance Series. Here in Russia, we're going to be seeing if Toyota and I will continue to jockey for the top spot, or if Rebellion or Jackie Chan can make a run at a few things. In terms of our development, we're working on that second gearbox. There'll be a third one coming. For this race, we're going to be focusing on, you've got the engine, suspension, and rear wing. So suspension and rear wing are the focus points. The engine, of course, we got some pretty good reliability in that from the last race, and it's a spec part, so we can't improve the performance. And that'll leave only the gearbox really as the only part that won't be pretty much up to snuff reliability-wise, which is going to be excellent for us because that's the one where we're developing for the next two races in the year. So I'm pretty happy with how all of that is working out. Of course, still quite a ways on our forecasting center. And then on to the sponsors. So we got two to pick here. And let's take a look at this one first. Second or above for a nice amount there. And then we've got these two fixed pay. And the other one is actually a bonus sponsor that I want to choose. So we're going to skip these. And we'll go with SO, 4-star, 848K a race. And then this is why I'm doing that. We've got a third or above, and it's actually slightly better than that other one. Then we could do 17 races at 880K, or this is a much worse. It's a 3-star. Now, this is our current bonus. 4 races left, and I think that's down low enough that going with another long-term bonus sponsor makes sense. And that's only 460K, so this is, more than twice, almost 3 times as much. Now, the question is, can we meet Infinity's standard, third or above? And I think most time we're going to hit it. It's an aggressive amount, but one that I think that we can reach. So we're going to go with that. And that's going to give us a positive bonus per race already, plus, if we start bringing in that million. So that's going to definitely put our finances back in the positive. And once again, that puts us back in the top spot for sponsors, along with our number 1 staff, number 2 pit crew. And let's take a look at those. I did make one hire. Vahinen here is our new hire. A max with pretty good stamina tire worker. We did lose, and I really wish I knew why. We lost our backup rear jack and couldn't find a decent replacement. Szymanski's pretty good there, but is, made the mistake last race, but is still one of our refueling tires people, the double duty. Very vital, those. And look at the rest of these. There's nobody that exciting. So I'm really hoping to get another rear jack performer before Lavial, who we put out here, gets worn out. Fortunately, he should be good for a while unless he has a mistake, which will drop him. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. But otherwise, we appear to be set. And the weather's looking good for Black Sea. It often rains there. So that'll be an interesting wrinkle. Tends to be a double-edged track. Sometimes I do really well there, and sometimes I don't. So we'll see how it goes this year around. We did get a dilemma that popped up. Jean Todt wants to use Lorenz Van Hoer as a face of the racing tour. We don't really need the money. We don't really need the voting power. There's no reason to irritate our driver. So let's just say, you know what, we're going to focus on the racing. That seems to be sort of just an obvious choice to me in this particular endeavor. Okay, so as the race arrives, we have 4 days left on the gearbox, the final one. And that's definitely going to be our last one of those that we're going to build. Let's take a look at where we're, and yeah, the overall car situation here is not that great. We're down to third. The gap has grown. We can see the gearbox here. We're going to do better in that once we get those going. But the nose is second, and we're more of a gap behind here on the rear wings. Our suspension is currently at 4th. You can see Toyota, Rebellion, and G-Drive appear to have put some work into their suspension. Now that does make sense for this particular race. If we look at Black Sea, the suspensions are in fact the top part. That could really give them an advantage there, unfortunately. And Toyota is in fact the favorites. But then they say Marco Wittmann's going to have trouble with the car in Black Sea, and they're from Toyota. So they seem to once again be confused. United Auto Sports is going to try to get some improvement. We'll see. If their suspension holds up for the race, then we could be in trouble in this one, but be trading that for doing better in the future with that gearbox. So that could be a little bit iffy. We're going to take our big sponsor, of course. And 20 degrees. I think we're definitely going to want to go with softs unless I'm proven otherwise. Maybe they won't be able to handle the distance on an abrasive track, but I'm going to assume they can for now. And we are going to be looking at 4th and 6th. Fairly similar. Once again, Castelli, for some reason, says she's happy, but actually isn't. Maybe I should try to, equalize the parts a little bit more. See, these are the same. The second car is better there. These are the same. So let's see, maybe I'll switch that around. Yeah, and those are even. So that'll make the cars just pretty much exactly even. 6th and 4th. So it just switches who they think is going to do well. Whatever, I think having the cars a little bit more even might make sense, even with our advanced sponsor. So let's see how this thing goes in Russia. Obviously, every race at this moment critical as we're trying to get our teeth into the season. Well, we had ourselves a very dramatic day of qualifying. It turns out soft tires aren't enough for the race. Actually, mediums might not even be enough, but that's what I'm going with. Jackie Chan with the top 2 spots, but our number 1 car there, Van Hoor, Mueller, etc., they were really close. They kept flirting with not hitting the sponsor objective, hitting it, and then a great final part of his final lap, and there was a total of 5 qualifying laps we did, thereby Dirk Mueller pushed us up above, and you can see very, very close, those top few spots. He couldn't quite catch the leaders, but he did get us the 600K, so that definitely really helped. Meanwhile, car number 2 really struggling, and they had 7 to 8 form for Castelli and Briscoe, but they just couldn't get it done. And I'm wondering, why exactly that is, I'm not sure. But they both seem to be off the pace for essentially no good reason that I can determine. So on to the race itself. And Jackie Chan gets the bonus, which at least it wasn't Toyota. So. Okay, no sign of anything but good weather. We may even want to go cautious on the medium tires if we are able to. Setup is, of course, good, but we want to check our fuel. Now, the times that we're expecting are somewhere around 107, 108. Somewhere in that vicinity. Very, very strong in terms of it being a short track. And yeah, I mean, you can see, wow, it says only 59 to 61 minutes. We should be able to get more out of that with that many laps, though. The laps are lasting over a minute. So that calculation just seems wrong to me. So let's assume that we're going to get 108 or thereabouts out of this. Okay, we're going to drop this down to about 45 laps of fuel to start. And I'm a little nervous about that. Let's see. We're going to go with Castelli here. I should double check the drivers on that other one. Yeah, and you can see fewer laps here. So I don't know if mediums are going to be enough. We're going to have to really try to stretch them, and that may not even do it. I might have to go with an extra stint, which I would really prefer not to do. But there may not be a choice. And yeah, let's give Mueller the nod instead. I think I might have gone with hard tires on this track last time. I don't remember. In any case, I'm definitely pretty nervous about all of that. Looks like we got pretty good form for our car number 1. Car number 2, yuck. Ludwig, pick it up. But otherwise, you know, Castelli's still looking solid to start. And I'll definitely have to get the most I possibly can out of these tires. Going to have to watch that very closely indeed. And Mueller dropping off the pace initially. Castelli moving up. So we could be settling into our typical middle of the pack scenario. Oh, yes, absolutely. Lock up those tires that we need every single bit of. Do exactly that, Vivian. A lot of cars, other cars out here on softs, though. So whatever problems we have, I would imagine theirs are going to be worse. Good grief. Okay, well, Castelli up further, probably because of that. Oh, Mueller locks up. So, yeah, not a real big fan. We're switching places back and forth. Now Mueller up to third. Fired up here, but I'm not a really big fan of how we're doing with the tires. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna make it. I think we're doing 6 stints on this track. And that would really suck. So if we go for an hour, an hour each. I mean, an extra stop. Castelli locks up again. Tires are basically holding right where they are. I really don't like taking an extra stop. I have to think that some of the other cars are going to use hards to avoid that, but what else can we do? Yeah, the tires are just not going to have the distance. And some of them, if they're going on mediums, it looks like we may have a lot of company on that. Part of me, I just wanted to reload from the, practice area and go with hard tires for the race. But with this low of temperatures, let's just see what kind of distance we would have gotten out of them. Yeah, I mean, that's still not a ton of extra time. It's possible that hard tires were the best choice here. But I'm going to stick with this. Possibly may regret it, but I'm going to stick with it anyway. So every driver gets 2 stints of an hour each. Yeah, and Castelli is already worn after 45 minutes. That's just insane. This track really burning up the tires. Okay, let's slow this down. Let's drop to conserve. And we'd be doing much better on the tires if it wasn't for the whole locking up issue. But it still wouldn't be nearly enough, obviously. Mueller well out in front. Try to pull in Castelli a little bit early if I can, even with her strong form, due to those tires. Okay, that should just about do it. Yes, we're extremely aware of that. All right, slow it down here. And I don't think we can wait any longer. Switch to Briscoe. Fresh set of tires. And a lot less fuel. I'm going to go with about 33. Balanced. And then Mueller will come in after that. Give him one more lap. Ooh, Negrao looking good. Let's pop him up to 34. Briscoe in 6th after the pit stop, which is still pretty solid. The long-term strategy here is going to be interesting. Mueller, sit down. And it's very interesting to me that nobody went hard. How aggressive we want to be on the pit strategy is really going to depend. When a Grau goes in, comes back out, still leads the race. Hey, if it's not fixed, or broke, rather, don't fix it. If it's not fixed, don't break it. Cute. Yeah, his tires are going to get fried. Grau pulling away, though, for the moment. Hey, how about that? So, Briscoe in 7th. They lost the lead. To Lauderer of Rebellion Racing. Fighting back and forth for it now. Yep, there we go. Medium conserve for you. Now let's put you both on conserve. Drop those tire temps. No, we cannot. So as of now, we would be taking the lead for the season. Up, and there's the switch back with Lauderer. McGraw, though, at least burning up the track from a driving point of view, and Briscoe at 7.2 is no slouch. All of that is very nice. And Briscoe can now go neutral. All the way down in 10th, though. That's yucky. But now he should be able to reap the benefits of this, I hope, over the rest of his stint up to 9th. That's a pass due to a pit stop. And McGraw has almost burned up all of the excess temperature. There we go. 2nd and 5th. Most of the others have pit again, though, so for the moment, we don't know much until we come in again. And that's still 25 minutes away. See how close the fuel comes on this stint. That'll let us know if that 33 or so is the best place for it. Briscoe now. Gonna give it everything he's got. Yep, and there they're switching over to hards. So they may be trying to leg out a longer stint here. But the thing is, the hards don't have enough extra distance, so I think it's going to be hard for them to really do that effectively. If you did a set of all 5 hards, that would work, but this scenario, maybe not so much. Yep, and our tires are still going to be pretty strong here by the end. Yep. Starting to get some worn tires now. McGraw with it as well. Alright, let's back this off. We're going to want to put McGraw, or who's in first? Yeah, Briscoe's going to go in first. There's the 2-lap mark. And we should come in this lap. Ludwig. Okay. Pretty good there, but we need a bit more fuel. Let's pop it up to 35. Of course, more pit stops is more opportunities for mistakes. I'm definitely going to stick with balanced for the moment. Beautiful. Just barely got through his fired up zone before the stop. McGraw's driving so well, I'm going to give him one more lap. No problems on that stop, it appeared. And Van Hoor, the obvious choice. How far will McGraw fall? Buddy, you did a great job. You drove absolutely amazingly. Well, we're beating the odds so far. Okay. Third and fourth, but we're right up there with the leaders. For the race as well, very close to Toyota and Rebellion in the overall. Toyota's just having a bad day. It's not so much that we're doing anything great necessarily. Toyota's just having a bad day. And you know what? I'm fine with that. So we could really have some close battling for some of these positions, which is obviously going to be of huge importance. But third and fourth, I like that. Right now, I think I just want to ride it out. I don't want to change anything strategically. Yet. Drop down to fifth there. Ludwig not doing too great. See the temperature. Okay, it's a little bit warmer. I want to conserve some, but not quite as much as before. Well, I think I need to be close to being as much as before. Let's go ahead and do that now. And now come the pit stops. And let's go to about there. See if we can hold that off. This could be a tense one. Still only the one team going to hards. So whether we chose right or wrong, the rest of the teams sort of went with us. Pretty much everybody, I think, is going to be taking those extra stops. We're actually pitting later than they are as it is. So we've got the lead, we've got second place. But most of the other teams have come in another time. So the battle of the pit crews really could be vital in this race, even more than usual. $15 now. Ludwig drops to third. Temporarily, I think. Because they'll be coming into pit. Yep. Doggone it. Couple more coming out on hards. Just have to wait and see how that plays out. Yep, worn tires. And Ludwig not doing so great. So I'll shave him on the small side. Yep, Castelli is our best current option. And fuel-wise, close, but if anything, went a bit high. So we'll go to 34, I think. I think I want to stay standard on the pits. Yeah, and Van Hoor had a little bit much, if anything. I'll knock him down to 33. Here's the switch to Castelli. So far, so good. Let's give Van Hoor a little bit extra here. Give him one extra lap. All right. I really don't want to switch back to Mueller. I'm going to switch to Negrau. He's close enough. Hopefully Mueller will pick it up later. Such a good driver, but Not at the moment. There we go. McGraw at 7.6. Should continue the strong performance. Tires, switch. Still no mistakes. Castelli at 6.4. So quality driver form, not spectacular, but we're looking pretty good. First and fourth after 3 pit stops. It looks like we're controlling this race. Eight six now for Negrao. 7-1 Castelli coming off of her boost. Over halfway through Black Sea, it's looking good. Let's switch to conserve. Get those tires down. I like the idea of stopping at that bottom hash mark there. Not quite all the way down. That seems to be the move with the distance we've got to get out of this. Nine 3 for Negrao, and Castelli climbing as well. So boy, we sure lucked out with getting these drivers in the car at the right times. Negrao has lost the lead temporarily. So we're not dominating the race. Controlling it, but not dominating. You see the hard tire car is still out there. And we still have 2 more pit stops. So there's still lots of opportunity for this to go sideways. Doggone it. Okay, hold on. Slow down. We're going to give you just a little bit of push. Negrao still needs more room. Let's go hybrid. Just get a little bit of temp into him. That's plenty. Go neutral. And hold it. Then Negrao, just keep driving those down. Back into the top 2 spots. Nine 8. Only 6.5 for Castelli, but that's still not bad at all. Switch to neutral. Seems to me that our lead has shrunk some. We do have some cars on softs. They're trying to make up some speed, but on the other hand, obviously those are going to just get fried on this track. Cars continue to be only about 10 seconds apart. Negrao now perfect. Castelli continues to be quite solid. think we're going to have some extra fuel here. If so, we'll need to lower the amount for the next pit change. I think I'm miscalculating a little bit on the fuel in this race. Could do better there. Not by a lot, but a little bit. And yes, Castelli, ever the problematic one on the tires. Just doesn't have the smoothness of everybody else, even when she's not making mistakes. Okay, let's back off. I think we're ready to come in with Castelli. Yeah, I think we want to switch to Briscoe and then have Ludwig finish up whatever. Switch tires. A little bit heavy on fuel. Let's go down to, I'll call it 32 since you're going to be just over that. We might go for a safe pit stop later, but I think we want to go balanced here. And we're going to have a couple more. Let's see, McGraw. I mean, you're driving perfectly. And we're going to be switching to Mueller. I definitely don't want to cut your trip short. Really think I want to leave you out there extra, actually, when the way you're driving. We've got the fuel for it. Tires, not so much. We'll go one more lap. There just isn't any extra at the tires to really support something more aggressive than that. Yeah, we'll go with that. Do we get another good changeover? And may very well go safe on the last one, especially if this goes well. Wow, great job by the pit crews today. That cannot be overemphasized. Alright. Let's go ahead and give away whatever time we need to. Right now. Under 2 hours. We have the top 2 spots. Alpine Matmut's going to seize control of the season today for the early going, unless I miss my guess. And nobody that I have noticed, like I haven't been paying as much attention as usual, but I haven't noticed any repairing. Speaking of which, how are we doing? Great. And fine, like the gearbox getting a little iffy, wing getting a little iffy there for Briscoe, but I think we're going to make it. Okay, let's slow down. So Mueller not exactly doing fantastic things at the moment. But you're still winning the race by 15 seconds. It'd just be nice if you would pick up the form. Briscoe driving quite well. You can see some of the cars there having difficulty mechanically. And Mueller just has done quite well overall on the weekend, but second half of this race just not feeling it for whatever reason. Glad to have the cushion. And now he's got to do the second half of his stint at a lower performance. Sliding even more, while Briscoe improves and yet falls further behind. Now we'll see him pick up the pace. 15 minutes left, roughly, in this stint. I definitely think I want to go to the safe pit stops here at the end. Just be reasonably safe on the fuel as well. I don't want to take any chances at blowing this. Tires starting to wear down. There's our repair. Let's just see who that is real quick. United Autosports. Okay, total non-threat them. So, Briscoe, you're going to be first in. I think. Might want to bring in Mueller. Yeah, Van Hoor is driving great. So I might actually bring in Mueller first. Let's get Mueller one more lap. There we go. Okay. Van Hoor's driving better. Get him out in the car. Now, he's got enough tire. What about his fuel? I can drop it down a little bit. He's going to be in there for about an hour. I probably could go lower, but I'm going to go with 30. And then the safe pit stop, giving away 4 seconds that I believe we can spare. Briscoe will be giving it up to Ludwig. I don't want to do it quite yet. I want to make sure our cars don't bump into each other. Now we'll go. Final set of good medium tires. .30 and safe. And go hybrid for this final lap. No mistakes in the pit crew for car number 1. Out in second place, behind his teammate. Let's go conserve right away. Just get all of the difficult stuff out of the way immediately. 9-1 for Van Hoor, 5-1 for Ludwig, so solid but not spectacular. You can see McKella's behind, but they'll have to pit again, and they're the only ones close. This is ours. We would have to do something horribly terrible to botch it. Park condition. Still fine. Yep. Doggone it, messed that up a little bit. I thought I had time to switch them and I didn't, so okay. We're just going to push a little bit, make sure that we get the heat into them. There, that should be good. Set them on neutral. Keep them there, switch back to harvest, speed it up. Okay. And the rest of this, final 40-some minutes, should basically race itself. The only question is, where does everybody else fit in behind us? Toyota has rallied to actually Toyota, Rebellion, Jackie Chan, all splitting up the points pretty effectively behind us, and that might be as good as anything actually for us to have them know one of them in particular doing that great. And we have such a big lead now. If you're concerned about that, back off. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're still going to be fine, but let's be absolutely certain. $20. No problems yet. Hard to imagine where they would come from. But of course, the main thing to be concerned about here is just a random crash. More pits like that will shake up the standings of the other cars, which frankly is as important as anything. Toyota and Rebellion pretty even. Jackie Chan dropping back after taking the top 2 spots in qualifying. .10 minutes. And a lead of over a lap. Just because then? A few more times around the track for Vantour. Nope, not going to do that. Go hybrid. A little more fuel here left for Ludwig. And go hybrid now too. And yeah, Vantour, I cut a little bit too close on the fuel, clearly. Why, thank you, Lawrence. That was great. It's only the second race of the year, but this could be a turning point for us. Okay, 723 miles versus 721. Rebellion with Lauder or McKellis finishes in third. But all of the key hardware going to Alpine Matmut. We've now got the #1 driving team. Team number 2 stays in fourth, although it looks like they're tied for third, actually. And a 20-point lead after the second race. Very good position to be in. Impressive stuff from Lawrence Vantour. Can anyone stop them? I hope not. Definitely top quality driving from car #1. Great job by Vantour. Even better for Negrau. Not so much for Mueller, who has actually been sub-5 in both races so far this year. But his natural skill is still going to make up for some of that. Not as good for car #2, but still solid. And Briscoe is not happy, morale-wise. I'm not sure why that is. Nonetheless, we make all kinds of money. Let's just check out Briscoe's morale. He was very unhappy at his previous job, so that could be it. He was left out of qualifying. Ardennes plus 4.3, minus 1.6. I might just want to put him in qualifying regardless of his form, so that I can boost his morale up, because that's a little bit low. Nonetheless, with this kind of a lead heading into a couple races with the gearbox, could possibly extend it. Black Sea didn't go the way you might have expected after the first race. Thought Toyota would do better. And that really puts us in a strong position. Not dominant by any stretch. Lots of racing to go, but really looks good. So off to Tandela next, which is one that has certainly thrown us for a loop as well over the years. But until then, thanks for watching, everybody. More Motorsport Manager will return.